Bendiciones. Alafia, everybody. Beware of insecure spiritualist. This is very important because of the intentions of the person doing the work and how good they're going to do the work, how efficient they're going to be, the quality of work that's going to come from them. Be aware of spiritualists that are insecure, meaning they're not whole. You can spot these type of people because they have a habit of flossing, flashing things, you know. They'll often live above their means, so it can make them unethical. You think, I know some spiritualists, and they are so caught up on materialistic things to validate them, and then they're doing spiritual work for people. So let me tell you why that's a problem. Why it's a big problem. Usually, when people are doing things like that, right, they're trying to validate others through materialistic means. These people usually have a keeping up with the Jones effect about them. We see it with male spiritualists, we see it with female spiritualists. It's not a sex thing, it's not a gender thing. You see it. Okay? You have to be careful with these people because if you're keeping up with the Joneses, that means a lot of times you're going to be living above your means. And so let's use common sense, family. If you need people to validate you and you're living above your means, how do you think that's going to affect how they deal with clients? They're going to be the ones that overcharge. They're going to be the ones that try to get you to pay for things that you don't need. Yeah, because they have to keep up with the Joneses. So they're already living above their means. So they have to make the extra money in order to keep up with the Joneses and be validated by their material possessions. That's why you have to be careful of those type of people. You know, and there's a difference between having nice things and being overly flashy or materialistic with what you're doing. There's a big difference. People can have nice things and people can show them online from time to time. But when you have the consistent flossing, floss this, floss that, floss this, and they're doing it in a way to validate, you got to be aware because that person may not be one that you want your life in their hands. I don't want anybody to have my life in their hands that want to keep up with the new styles, that want to be always in trends, that always want to be trendy with what they the jewelry that they wear, that always want to be trendy with whatever new shit comes on social media as far as like fashion. I try to I would be wary of that only because of the fact that I know that you got to keep up with that lifestyle. So even if you do good work or you don't do good work, you likely going to charge me up. And you could have me buying and ordering things that I don't need. You know what I'm saying? You may give me a reading that you be biased in because you know that you want me to buy this or that, because you want me to buy this or that service. so that you can have money to do X, Y, and Z because you want more money to buy some new Chanel perfume. No, 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 no. That's why y'all gotta be careful when you deal with spiritualists that are over materialistic, because a lot of times they heart ain't fully in the work. They heart is on a dollar. And these are even people, they'll be situational spiritualists. Like 1 minute they do spiritual work, the next minute, you know what I'm saying, they want to do this or they want to do that to get money. If you a spirit worker, you was a spirit worker. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. That's the post. You know what I'm saying? You got spiritualists, they'll come online bragging about watches. What the fuck is that? Why are you bragging about a watch? Why are you bragging about a Rolex? Why are you bragging? You know what I mean? Like, why? What does that have to do with your quality of work? Because for all we know, you spent your last couple dollars at some point to get that Rolex. You had to make the money up somehow. Did you make the money up by jacking up the prices on the work? Because that's what supply and demand does. Like, it's certain things that are just common sense. You want people that are more pure to the traditions that you're going to them for healing or you know, help in. You want to go to people that are more pure in that aspect. You know, I get a lot of flack a lot of times because, you know, I don't come online bragging about watches or jewelry or things like that. You know, I don't brag about cars, and I don't do that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there are spiritualists who could try to uh, discredit me because I choose not to flash, but I live in a 4-bedroom house. I have 3 bathrooms, a big ass tub that can fit 3 people in it. I live a good life. I live in a good neighborhood. I have a yard with a fence. Like, I live a good life, but I don't come on to brag about my life to everybody else. Because I'm about to work. You know what I'm saying? They'll be, oh, I don't comb my hair. Yeah, I'm working. I'm always in it. So sometimes my hair is done, sometimes it's not. I don't put so much emphasis on things like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Sometimes I wear clothes that are designer, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just wear a shirt because I like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm true to the game that I'm in. You know, when you look at the elders, they didn't care about things like that. And I think that it's crazy because in a way, it led to me being able to have as much clientele that I have, you know, um, because people can see that I'm genuine about the work that I do, and they hear the reviews online and they see the results. And so, and they hear word of mouth from their friends and family. And so people keep booking, you know what I'm saying? I always put my links in the description for you all. So for those that need work, the links are in the description, you know what I mean, to book. And so, yeah, you know, I I noticed that, you know, even though I don't go out flashing and flossing like other spiritualists, it's fine. And the crazy thing is, I actually make more money than a lot of those spiritualists. And this is where you see the dissing come in. Because it's like they feel like I shouldn't be making money because I don't come online with a watch on. That's a Rolex. I'll wear a watch that I like. You know what I'm saying? My shirt doesn't cost $500. That's fine. I don't have Gucci loafers on my feet. Okay. But there's times when I do go out and I do wear Gucci on my feet. Like there's times that I go out and I wear these brands that y'all like. I have them too. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. But to make it a focal point, to make it all about I living this luxury life, that's just silly. And that's insecurity. You're trying to seek validation. There's even people that can be spiritualists and they could wear designer clothes every day, but they don't make it a focal point. They just wearing the clothes because they really do like designer, but they're not putting it in y'all face like, yeah, look, I got a new Birkin bag. Yeah, look, I got a new this. Nah. If they like the bag, they get it, they wear it, you see it. But they're not going to make that the focal point for why you should deal with them. You should deal with them because they're good at what they do, not because they're good at picking clothes. That doesn't make them a good practitioner. That doesn't make them a good spiritualist. You know, I know mambos that fall into that mentality and they just like, they want to run with a title. Like, I'm a mambo and I'm living this luxurious life. And a lot of them really aren't. They just cap. But they try to play that for the public because they want y'all to think that they're higher than what they really are. You know what I'm saying? Because they think that that is the thing that's going to get them more clients or get them godchildren or something like that. So they'll come play that game with y'all. But in reality, they don't live that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I know mambos that they portray that image and they can barely pay their rent every month. They gotta scam and hustle to get by just to pay their rent. But they'll come portray to y'all like they live in a luxurious lifestyle. It's all cap. They're not. You know what I'm saying? It's just like in school or in the real world, not even when we were in high school, in the real world, you could see a man that just wearing balling shorts and a white t-shirt and not know that that's a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? But then you see a dude who got his shirt tucked in to show his belt, to show his Hermes belt. You know what I'm saying? He got all this jewelry on, you know what I mean? The matching jackets and he's broke. I live in Atlanta. I see a lot of dudes that literally they're walking to the bus stop, but they're dressed to kill. Like they look like they're worth money and they're worth nothing. They about to catfish somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's the world we're in. Be careful what y'all taking in from these people because most of it is cap. It's lies. They flashing and flossing and they ain't got shit. Um, they don't have real careers in this. Um, it's just what it is. And then a lot of them can also use the spirituality to be a part of the look itself as well, you know? And so you got to be careful of that aspect, you know? You get that mentality where they're using the spiritual aspects to create that image of them having it as well, or they become title whores. You know what I'm saying? The man who wants to have all these titles, the woman that wants to have all these titles. I'm mambo da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, nice to meet you. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, they'll do things just for the looks. They'll do things for the aesthetic of it. They want to wear all they leke just because they like the clout that come with having 50 lekes on their neck. You know what I'm saying? The more beads, the better. Like they'll wear big giant crystals on them mixed with eleke. That don't even go together. Like I'm sorry to bust y'all bubbles, but like Ifa is Ifa. And crystals and new agey stuff, that is its own thing. I'm sorry that I had to tell you this, but I have to tell y'all. But you'll get people that they'll do all of these things for validation in one way or another because they feel like it's connected to status. And then they won't understand why they can't get a following. Then they won't understand why they can't make progress within their priesthoods or within their respective practice as a spirit worker. And it's because you're putting the value on the wrong things. You need to put the value on working on yourself to be a better person, first and foremost. And then you need to put the attention on realizing your actual value so that you can accept people into your life that are actually helpful to your growth. See, this starts to take away the need to have to validate yourself on social media because you're realizing your worth. You're surrounding yourself with people that help to grow you as a person, right? Like it starts to, this is what they call fulfillment, right? But this is my little consejos to y'all. Don't mind me. I learned this stuff from an 85-year-old woman. That's my abuela. I'm sorry that I have to be the old man, right? But I'm just telling you something that can take you far, right? And so essentially, be careful of people that make their material possessions the focal point. It's okay to deal with spiritualists that have nice things, but be aware when you notice that they're trying to keep your focus on those nice things, because likely they're trying to keep your focus on those nice things so that they can hide things about themselves. Likely they're trying to keep your focus on those aesthetics to hide. They're trying to keep your focus on aesthetics to validate them. Be careful of that, okay? You want to deal with spiritualists that are down to earth. Like I said, it is a new age. Everybody's not going to be walking around dressed in rags and humbala spiritual, right? People going to have nice shit. That's great. That's fine. But be careful of the ones that try to make that the only thing you're paying attention to. When they get online and they're like, yeah, look, I take trips and I got money and they're broke. I have a Rolex watch. You know what I'm saying? I have this and they don't have anything. See, now we're getting into the realm of need for validation, and they're going to probably fleece your pockets to keep that going. Beware of the the man that is extra braggadocious about what he has. Beware of the woman that just wants to throw titles everywhere but doesn't do shit with her priesthood. I'm Mambo such and such. And at the same time of her saying she's Mambo such and such, she got 15 to 20 ilekes on that come from Orisha tradition. Mambo is voodoo. So you got 50 to 20 ilekes on, big ass crystals on her, wanna be bragging about living some luxurious life. These are people that are seeking validation from everybody else because they cannot validate themselves. And that's why they don't ever have true happiness and they always end up in these weird predicaments. And those are people that you don't want to trust with your life in their hands, because just as unstable as their life is how unstable the work can be. Okay? Because they are not grounded people. And so people can say what they want about us true blue traditionalists that hold firm to certain values, but it is what it is. Like, I'm ancient. You know what I'm saying? Be ancient. The ancients, how the ancients did it. You know, you got to be old school about this shit. Or maybe you don't. But don't come crying to me when somebody done fleeced you. Don't do it, because I don't want to hear the shit, because I just told you. Be careful about people that hoist up a watch as their most prized possession. You know what I'm saying? Be careful about people that are so concerned about aesthetics and titles, because when you strip those things away, you have nothing. Nothing at all. You got a dud. You know how many, these are hard lessons I had to learn in my life. I've gotten stuck with duds before. So I'm just telling y'all from my experience. You don't want to get stuck with a dud. You want somebody that's about that action. Thorough about it. That's what you want. Because all this other shit is play. It's all play, man. They play. So that's what I got for y'all on that, man. Stay solid and be aware. Once again, I'm not saying spiritualists can't have nice things. If there's a spiritualist that's always dressed in designer, okay, but you have to look at the other aspects of it. If they are dressed in designer and bragging about the designer, if they are dressed in designer and bragging about some luxury lifestyle and bragging about luxury things, then that's a red flag. But if they have a taste for the finer things, then they have a taste for the finer things. Don't discount them just because they have nice clothes. But definitely you should consider discounting them if the clothes are what makes the man or the woman. Now you have to question them. Like, okay, I've heard enough about your Rolex watch. Okay, I've heard about all of your titles. You've told me a million times. Okay, right? Like, that's when you have to put your antennas up. So yeah, don't get lost in the sauce, y'all, because it's a lot of fuckery going on out here. And that's from a real spiritual OG or Dabo.